Hey, child, you know me? It's Funky Dineva, urban pop culture critic, your internet best friend, and all around fabulous. Let me tell y'all something. My skin is soft, supple, paid for, and smelling like a whole love song. Now let's start with high value. Clove, rose, and oud. It smells like when I walk into a room and people stop talking, it's not because they're scared, but because they know I'm that girl. Soft serve. Oh, she's for the soft life girls who don't have to do a thing but be legendary. Amber, jasmine, saffron. It's giving warm towels, slow mornings, Karen White on repeat, rogue dragon on the floor. And Pharaoh's love, baby, vanilla, white lily, and musk that lingers. It's giving brunch at 1, nap at 3, stretching on 1,000 thread count sheets. I don't need a crown, just this souffle and a playlist. And today, I smell like a mood, a memory, a damn good decision. Body souffle, baby, from butter.
Y'all's at work. Not me, girl. Hey, y'all. Somebody put in there, y'all beat me to it, saying, y'all hoes at work. Yes, God, honey, it's y'all hoes at work. I know y'all sitting at y'all there. Somebody said, Hot Chocolate said, he must got plans tonight. And do. I'm going to a movie premiere tonight for a Christmas movie that my friend Phil Thornton, he's one of the producers. Y'all know him from R&B Divas, and he produced the Luther documentary and is currently in the process of doing some other documentaries. He's a big shot in the music industry. He personally invited me to a movie premiere tonight, a Christmas movie, Anna Marie Horsford, a whole bunch of other black people. Basically, y'all, it's going to be one of them Atlanta events where all the reality TV people gonna be there. It's gonna be the same old recycled list of people. Freddie O gonna be there taking the pictures. One of those typical ass Atlanta events that I tend to stay away from, but he invited me and I told him that I would make it. Um, Little known Black History fact, guys. More than likely, Tamar Braxton will be there this evening because Phil is her business partner and they're like best friends a little bit. So this shall be interesting because it'll be the first time that me and Taywan have been in the same place since we had our public internet debacle. And yeah, that's that on that. A lot of people are wanting to know what's going on with my doctor's appointment. So I had the 9:20 doctor's appointment this morning. I went to the doctor, got there, looked at my blood work, went in, the doctor came in. It's like, tell me a little about yourself, tell me what's going on, tell me about your family history, ask some questions. And then he said, all right, there's no easy way to do this. Drop your pants. I'm going to first check you from the front. Then I'm going to check you from the back. He started feeling around in the front. Everything was fine. He said, assume the position. He put some KY jelly on his finger and stuck it all the way up my butt. Was feeling around, feeling for my prostate, took it out, took the gloves off. It wasn't no boo-boo on his gloves. Praise the Lord. Washed his hands, handed me some toilet paper, some tissues to wipe that lube out the crack of my ass, threw the napkins in the garbage, washed my hands. We sat down and talked. Here is what he had to say. He said that my prostate was not enlarged, which was a good thing. However, my PSA level was a 7. And I said, well, doc, at my what should my PSA level be? He said, honestly, your A level should be a 1 or below a 1. He said, a 0.8, a 0.5. So for your age, your PSA level is a little high. So we are going to schedule a procedure. We need to do a scan and a biopsy. That procedure involves him sticking some type of metal thing up my ass in order to do a scan. I'm assuming it's going to look like a little wand or a dildo. And then in addition to that, he said he will put some lidocaine on my prostate and he will take 2 tissue samples and then we will have the results back in 2 days. In 10 days. So he was like, do you have any questions? I said, absolutely. I said, somebody said, what is your PSA level? I guess it's some type of hormone that your prostate gives off, Dreon say. And so he said, I said, okay, doc, just keep it real with me. If I do have prostate cancer, am I going to die? And he was like, he said, I can't definitively say yes or no. He said, but I can give you a probably not. Okay. And he said, prostate cancer is a very slow growing cancer that, it's so slow growing. It essentially, it takes 20 years to kill people. He was like, if you are an older man or an elderly man, he was like, and you came in with this PSA level, he was like, we probably wouldn't even do much, essentially, because if I'm 70 years old with a PSA level of 7, the likelihood of me living another 20 to 30 years is slim to none. However, he said, but with you being 42, 20 years from now, that puts you in your 60s. Yeah, nobody really wants to die in their early 60s. So, you've caught it early, or whatever the case may be. I said, doc, all right, considering the fact that my father had prostate cancer in his late 30s and he ultimately died of gallbladder cancer, what does this mean for me? He said, and this is what gave me the most relief. He said the two are unrelated. That was my biggest thing. Guys, I'm going to be very honest with you. I am prepared for the results to come back and say that it is prostate cancer. The doctor said there is a very good likelihood that something is brewing in there. Do I want it to be that? Absolutely not. But mentally, I am prepared for it to be that. And if it is that, I promise you, I'm okay. Considering the fact that somebody said prostate cancer here was diagnosed when I was 42. You got this. And he said his PSA level was a 10. Exactly. Considering the fact that it is a very curable cancer, it is a very slow growing cancer, I'm not worried about that. Somebody said my dad has it, but he's almost 80 with a PSA level of 2. You see, her dad is 80 with a 2 PSA, and I'm 42 with a PSA of 7. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. We're going to work through it. If it is, we're going to handle it. If it ain't, we're going to praise the Lord. I asked the doctor, I said, if it is not prostate cancer, then what is it? Okay, what else could it be? And he said it could be prostasis, some shit I can't pronounce or whatever. And he said, but in feeling around in there in your prostate, it doesn't feel like that. He was like, some men can have an enlarged prostate and have no prostate cancer. Other men can have a small or normal prostate and it be full of prostate cancer. So we just really won't know until we do the biopsy. Now, here's the funny part. So the nurse comes in, she gives me this paper, and she says, go to the front. They'll schedule your appointment for the procedure. I go to the front, black fish at the front, real nice medical fish, real DeVry-like, real DeVry, real ICDC college. Like, y'all know I'm always pushing for a bitch to go do medical code in the building to know how to do the computer. Medical fish gonna always have a job. So she said, okay, Dr. So-and-so does his procedures out of Decatur and out of Fayetteville. I said, I live in Sandy Springs, so the Decatur location would be the best. Okay, I can get you in on December 6th. I said, December 6th, girl, I've been on dad by then. Baby, that girl fell out laughing down to the front. I couldn't do shit but laugh. Baby, it is October 20-something. It's October, whatever it is, October 28th. She like, December 6th. I say, girl, I've been on dad by then. Can you get me in any earlier? She said, okay. She was like, hold on. She was like, okay, we do got some cancellations. I could get you in on November 6th. When she said November, let me look at it. She said, I could get you in on November 6th. I said, she said, I can get you in. She said, I got some cancellations. might get you in on November 6th, but we got to make sure that your insurance clear it by then. If I don't get the insurance to clear it by then, I'm going to have to call you back and we going to schedule it in December. I said, well, girl, put me down for November 6th, girl. You is not You will not have me sitting up here on pins and needles all through damn Thanksgiving trying to figure out if they got the cut in between my legs and in my butt because I got the damn cancer. Y'all can't be doing people like this. I don't give a damn how slow growing it is, girl. This shit ain't finna sit up in me and start growing from now into December. And then, on top of that, they don't even get the results till 2 weeks later. Now, bitch, if I don't go in there until December 6th and 10 days later after that, what's that, 6? That's the 16th. That's the 26th. Y'all hoes ain't even finna be in the office on the 26th. So you mean to tell me, bitch, I got to go through Thanksgiving not knowing. Got to go through Christmas not knowing. Y'all know them hoes ain't gonna come back to the office till after the 3rd. I got to go through New Year's Eve and go into the new year not knowing shit me, bitch. Okay, and quiet as a catfish. When I go down there, when you call me back, if them hoes say they didn't approve it by November 6th, let me know how much it costs, bitch. Okay, because if the procedure under $2,500, ho, I just put it on my credit card. Okay, you will not have me sitting up through the holidays. I'm trying to figure out, bitch, do I need to eat the salad or can I eat the turkey? Can I eat the dressing or do I need to drink water? Can I be in there with the Hennessy with the black men's in the back? Or do I need to be somewhere drinking the Diet Coke? You will not have me going through the damn holidays trying to figure out if this the last time I'm finna hug my damn loved ones and if I need to get my affairs in order. No, God, bitch, put me down for November 6th, okay? We gonna make it enough. Whether the insurance company clear it or not, honey, I'm rich like this and not like this. We gonna pay for it out of pocket, and we gonna fit, baby. I get my ass on here as much as I get on here and solicit for other people. Spacita say, I am laughing. Why am I on here? Do some damn work, Spacita. Better yet, did you file that damn 1099 for that person that we posed to, Spacita? Get that 1099 together while you watching the show. But nevertheless, I said, baby, I'll put that thing on a credit card and have Spacita write that damn shit off at the end of the year. But baby, you will not have me going through the first trying to not knowing if I got cancer or whatever the case may be. And nevertheless, y'all, that's what I got going on all in my private business, in my health, and in my medical business. Somebody said I'm just ignorant. And you, hold your line. Anyway, y'all, sometimes we gotta laugh to keep from crying. And y'all pray for me. I think I'm gonna be just fine. Oh, is that a booger? Whatever, honey. I think it was a booger on my shirt, but that's all right because I could do that. I'm on the sick and shut in list. Nevertheless, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the show. We're gonna do a quick 1-2 or whatever the case may be. We got to start off with just a little bit of bad news. Madika, guys, everybody knows Madika from Love and Hip Hop and all those various shows. Her husband passed away. I didn't know who her husband was, but he goes by the name of Jamar Champ. He was her estranged husband. He's tragically passed away. Masika hasn't shared the details publicly, but she posted a message on her Instagram writing, "Pray for me and my babies." Just hours after the news broke, Jamar and Masika share one child together. Reports claim the Houston businessman passed away following a car accident, although no official confirmation has been released. This is sad and this is unfortunate. And our feelings, our thoughts, and our prayers go out to Masika, his and her family, and those babies. Guys, I couldn't help but notice, or I couldn't help but say when this story came on, um, is it easier on a child to lose their parents at that small age, whereas they can't remember or very young? Or, uh, is it easier later in life? And I mean, I guess I'm smart enough to figure out that each has its own set of challenges. And I imagine people would probably argue that it's probably more of a blessing to lose your parents a little up in age because at least you'll have memories of them at least you'll be able to remember them. At least you would be able to have some type of memories to hold on to. This is just um unfortunate. This is just unfortunate. It's weird though, because when I saw it and I saw that little baby, granted, I don't know if her kids are still that little. The first thing that did kind of go through my mind was, well, at least her baby's a little young and it won't be as devastating. But like I always say, you're gonna pay on the front end or the back end, but you're gonna pay. And I guess, yeah, it might not be devastating on the front end, but it's probably gonna be catastrophic on the back end as a result of it. Nevertheless, our prayers go out to Masika, his and her family, and those babies as we move on. Also, I did not pull any Hurricane Melissa stories, but all of y'all who've got family in Jamaica, I'm going to go out on a limb and say those of y'all that are currently watching me from Jamaica, what's going on in Jamaica right now? Y'all drop down in the chat really quickly before I prep for the rest of these stories. What is going on in Jamaica? Last I checked, about an hour ago, the storm had made landfall in Jamaica. I'm not sure if it's like in full swing, like if it's completely hovering on top of Jamaica. What reports have y'all gotten out of Jamaica right now? Because we're trying to figure out what all the hell going on. And we want to know what the people over there in Jamaica is doing. I'm waiting for y'all to tell me in the comments if y'all have been able to hear from any of y'all family members. I imagine in this moment right now that they are fully underway with that storm in Jamaica, and you guys probably don't have communication as internet and electricity might be out. They outside twerking in the rain in Jamaica. The faceless behavior, shut up. I don't believe you. Let's see. Girl, what you doing at work on my day off? Hey, hey, hey. We are being decimated. Okay. My friends and family are home. My friends and family are home. Lights are still on, roof is still on. Okay. St. Elizabeth is the worst. Floods are happening in different areas. TikTok has several lives. It's bad. It hit bad around 1:30 p.m. Where I am in St. Andrew, it is pretty calm, but it's worse for other parishes. Alicia, Y8W, our prayers are for you. I'm happy that you're able to watch us right now. I talked to my best friend earlier. Her grandfather is in Jamaica. He showed me pics of the house are underwater, similar to Katrina. Um, um, let's see. There's flooding. My cousin has lost their roof already. They are fighting in the shelter. Okay, Jamaica got it all going on. Nevertheless, guys, we are just going to pray. We are going to pray. We are going to pray. We are going to pray. That's all we can do for Jamaica. And let's move right on into the next story. Something else that's catastrophic. I'm going to do this next story, and I don't give a damn who I offend, but this next story is directly impacts some of the stupidest sons of bitches on this planet, and I've referred to them throughout this show and throughout this last election cycle and administration. These Cubans in Miami got to be some of the stupidest sons of bitches on the planet, and I stand by it. And when I fly down to Miami International Airport, I'm ready to fight any one of y'all non-speaking English asses about my comments, because y'all will vote for Donald Trump, and now y'all down there begging for SNAP benefits because your ass won't be able to eat come November 1st. Take a listen to this.
At Little Havana's Domino Park, fear among those we spoke with about the possibility that in just days, those who benefit from SNAP, a federal assistance program, might not get the benefits in November because of the government shutdown. Enrique Gonzalez, who's 79 years old, says he benefits from SNAP. $128 a month helps him a lot. He'll be greatly affected, he says, asking the president for help, reminding us Mr. Trump likely won the presidency because of Cubans here in South Florida.
The senior citizens are almost going to starve.
Almost 3 million Floridians could suddenly be without vital food assistance. This number includes over 1 million children, over 700,000 seniors, and over 250,000 Floridians with disabilities.
So look, I'm going to take it a step backwards. And I'm going to be nice here. And watch me make this argument without making race a factor. Imagine a world where your financial situation is so delicate that $138 in food stamps is the difference between you being able to eat and not eat. Just imagine that. Imagine a world where your financial situation is so delicate that $138 is the difference between you being able to eat for the month and not eat for the month. And then you vote and subscribe to an ideology that's in line with Trump and them Republicans and all them rich folks. I'm not even going to let the nuance of race enter the conversation. Now, before we even get on race, before we make it about race, you cannot tell me that up front that there was enough information laid out up front about what it was going to look like and what those Republicans felt about people on entitlement programs. All that information was laid out the last presidency. It was laid out in the rhetoric that they spoke. It was laid out in Project 2025. All of it was laid out. Imagine being $138 away from being able to eat, but somehow siding with the rich billionaires. Imagine. And then got the nerve to sit up and say he likely won because of Cubans here in Miami. Yeah, you think? You think. And what did you get for your vote? What did you get for it? And again, the sad part about the situation is, given the opportunity to vote that way again, I still am not convinced that they would have voted any other way. And again, the midterm elections will be the determining factor. I can assure you that if given the opportunity to vote again right now, they asses would vote the same doggone way, which brings me to the next story. Now, stereotypes say Black families make up majority of EBT recipients, but the USDA's own data shows that white households account for the largest share. Providing food assistance isn't about race, it's about need. And so I'll never forget. Now, my yard people, can y'all hear that? Now, they don't post a comment till Wednesday. Now, these people wait good until I get to work and want to get in here and start cutting the damn grass outside my damn window. Y'all just let me know y'all can't hear it. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I graduated college, I'll never forget my boss at Majestic Properties at the time. His name was Richard Wood. And he said to me, we had an overzealous owner of the company that just used to love to spend the money. He was spending at a rate that we couldn't keep up with. And he was saying that it was our job to tell the story that we want to tell with the numbers. And that was the first time I got a real life example of how numbers can be misleading. Like, he was like, Quentin, it is our job to make the numbers tell the story that we want the numbers to tell as the accountants, right? And so I was looking at the comments in the shade room, where this was posted, and everybody is going crazy. Everybody's going crazy in the comments. See, I told y'all, why it's more white people on food stamps. It's more white people. How can we be the minority but be the majority? How can we be the minority and be the majority? And I'm like, calm down. Before y'all getting y'all more white people on food stamps bag, I just don't want y'all out there in public looking stupid. All right, so let's talk about the numbers. When I went down to Florida State University and I got my degree in economics, them people taught me everything about statistics, graphs, numbers, rates, so on and so forth. This graph don't depict what y'all think it depicts, right? Because of SNAP recipients, 35% of people on food stamps are white, okay? And 25% of people on food stamps are black, okay? But you've got to understand, we should expect the number of white people to be on food stamps because their population is much larger. To be exact, in 2023, there were 195 million people in America. They make up 58% of the population. They make up 55% of the population. I'm sorry, they make up 58% of the population, and they make up 35% of recipients on food stamps. Conversely, guys, black people, we are 14% of the population, but 25% of black people of 25% of people on SNAP are black. So in short, guys, we are on food stamps at twice the rate they are. That's the short of it. That's the short of it. So before y'all get out there and start bragging, see, I told y'all, it's more white people. Well, yeah, it should be more white people numbers wise on food stamps, but you have to look at the rate. All right, you have to look at the rate. We are 14% of the population, but almost 2 times as likely to be on food stamps per the data. Now, that doesn't mean black people are horrible. That doesn't mean there is something inherently wrong with us. A lot of this can be explained away with systematic oppression, systematic racism, poverty, generational poverty. All of this can be explained away. But before y'all get out there, I just don't want y'all looking ignorant in public, talking about, see, it's more white people on benefits than black people. Yeah, there is, but you've got to look at the rate. And with this, I just want y'all to know that we are 2 times likely to be on food stamps than the white folks. They are 58% of the population, but 35% of the food stamp recipients. That's you would kind of expect something like that. What would make this graph true and accurate was if it said we were 14% of the population and 7% of SNAP recipients. Then we can honestly say, yes, it's more of them on food stamps and they consume food stamps at a higher rate. So please do not be misled by charts like this. I just want y'all to know the information before y'all get out there in public and get to looking stupid trying to argue with folks. Nevertheless, talking about folks that's going to be on food stamps, all them corporate hoes that's at Amazon, they cutting 30,000 jobs at corporate because AI is taking over. While 30,000 only represents a small slice of Amazon's 1.55 million total employees, it amounts to nearly 10% of the corporate workforce. This marks the largest layoff in the company's history, surpassing the 27,000 roles it cut in the beginning of 2022. Although Amazon declined to make an official comment, sources say cuts will likely affect divisions like human resources, devices, and services operations. Managers were instructed on Monday how to deliver the news, with employee emails expecting to roll out Tuesday morning. This is unfortunate. This is unfortunate that 30,000 people are getting ready to lose their job to AI, but it is the way of the world, unfortunately. And I would suggest for some of you guys who are in what I would call AI sensitive professions that you really start picking up a trade, you start picking up side hustle. Now is the perfect time for you to start that little side business that you were thinking about. Because when we start talking about 30,000 people cut from Amazon, 300,000 people cut from the federal government, 1,800 or 18,000, whatever it is, cut from Target, we are going to begin to see all these various cuts across all these different industries and corporations, which means the competition for new positions is going to be very steep. And let me tell you something, they're cutting people and replacing them with AI. So this competition out there is going to be very steep. And the only thing that we are going to have to survive off of are our skills, our talents, and our hands. Y'all better start planning. Y'all better start planning. Y'all better start planning. Y'all better go bring them fingers out of retirement and get the braid and hair. Y'all better start banging them pots and pans. There is one thing there are a couple things that are always going to be AI proof. All right. People going to need their yards cut. I mean, yeah, I know they got some robots, but in the meantime, in between time, people going to need their yards cut. People going to need their hair braided. People going to need to eat. People always going to need somebody to watch their kids. People going to always need somebody to watch elderly people. People going to always need people to do medical stuff, okay? Live performances in the live concert space is pretty AI proof, and lots of other professions. As a matter of fact, for people who are looking for something else to do, can y'all please drop down in the comments right now and just give us a list of professions, jobs, or trade that we believe are AI proof, because some people don't know what to do in this moment. So if y'all would take a moment right now, drop down in the chat and just give us a list of some of these things that are AI proof. So certain members of the Funky Bunch can have somewhere to turn when it comes time to look for another job. I see HVAC. I see post office, computer programming. It's a whole lot of other things. Somebody said, let me get my stuff together, start selling pig feet again. Bitch, you better. Moving right along, honey. Lemme over from Zeus Network. So I don't quite know what's going on with him and Krishan and all the accusations. I do know from time to time, Lemme's name always gets pulled up in a bunch of stuff. Lemme Plummer says on why he keeps speaking out concerning the baddies drama. He says, I'm not gay. I'm not a female. I'm not a baddie. I'm not Diddy or evil. I am, though, exhausted. So Lemme goes on to say, some people are asking, why do I keep responding to Krishan and others this season? And I understand, no, I am not gay. I am not a female. I'm not a baddie. I'm not Diddy, respectively, nor am I evil. I'm simply speaking up because I'm exhausted by the ongoing disrespect and disparagement from these ladies. I provided these young women with the genuine opportunity that have allowed them to earn substantial income and achieve instant visibility and fame. I don't force anyone to do anything, nor can I control what others choose to say about me. However, I will no longer remain silent simply because I hold the title of CEO. People often place you on a pedestal that no one can realistically stand on, and at the end of the day, I'm human just like everyone else, and I'm not looking for sympathy or empathy, but I'm keeping it 100 moving forward. And Lemme, I am here to tell you, black man to black man, I understand. I understand how you feel. I completely understand how you feel, Lemme, because being a YouTuber, being a social media influencer, I get it. I wake up some days and the things that people say about me and the things that people post online and the think pieces that people do and the videos that people make about me, some days it does get to me. Yes, you are human. But Lemme, you also got to understand and respect the fact that it is par for the course. In addition, Lemme, you also got to understand that there is just a universal tax that you are going to pay, black man, for the type of content that you put out there. You owe a responsibility to the universe. Lemme, no shade. On one token, I'm always conflicted, right? On one token, I am very proud of Lemme. The fact that he's built a business model, and as a young black man, he's built this huge company and this business model that now other people seem to be following. That is relatively something to be proud of, right? But then on the other hand, the argument could be made at what cost? Like, Lemme, you exploit the bottom of the barrel of our population, right? You exploit the lowest of the low, the most low-hanging fruit, and by many people's assessment, baddies and a lot of the content that you push over there is trash, all right? Many Black people don't appreciate the fact that the worst of us is highlighted on such a major platform. But then an argument could be made that if people were not consuming it and if people did not like it, then it wouldn't be as successful as it is. And that is a very valid argument. Here's the thing. There's a market for everything, right? When Lemme got on Fox Soul that time when we had him on there, he wanted to make the argument that Zeus Network has a whole bunch of other programming on there and people don't watch it. In hindsight, I wish I would have had the opportunity to say this to Lemme's face, but what Lemme did not say is that, Lemme, you don't spend the money marketing the other programs as you do baddies. Because it's low-hanging fruit, it's very easy, it's shock value TV, and people love it. You don't get to put out trash TV, sewer TV, dirty, ratchet, ghetto content and think that you're not going to get dirty in the process. If you wallow with pigs, you are going to get muddy. If you wallow with pigs, you are going to get dirty. That's just the sheer reality of it. You know what I'm saying, Lemme? I can assure you, if you were producing Iyanla Van Zant Fix My Life type of content, and I'm using a complete polar opposite end of the spectrum example, but if you were making Fix Your Life on network level content, I could assure you, you wouldn't be feeling the negative feelings you're feeling right now about your cast talking about you, calling you nasty, saying you giving them STDs, calling you gay, and all the other things you're saying. It's par for the course, Black man. And like I always tell people, if you don't like it, go be a librarian. So Lemme, you got to do what all the rest of us do. Go in your room, take a drink, do your drug of choice if you do drugs, have sex, cry, and then the next day, dust yourself off and come back at it. Because if you want to be regular and if you want to be treated like a regular person, go be a librarian. That's that on that. Moving right along, guys. So we got a story about somebody who don't need to be a librarian, don't need to be a teacher, and damn sure don't need to be an educator. A Black principal allegedly pulled 100 or so Black students into an assembly, singled them out, and told them that it was their fault that the school got the grade it did as a result of test scores, and people are outraged. Take a look.
North Texas school now has a new interim principal. This is as the school reviews what it calls a recent incident. Well, parents and students say that that incident is a meeting called by the principal with Black students only to blame them for the school's state accountability rating. Here's Meredith Yeomans.
For more than 2 years, Chandra Hooper Barnett has been principal of Woodrow Wilson High School in Dallas, a school that announced today has a new temporary leader.
It happened fairly quickly, which is great.
Jennifer Bush's son is a sophomore at Woodrow, who says he was among more than 100 Black students called into the auditorium Friday by the principal.
Principal Barnett had told them that they were the reason why the school has a B rating. I guess with the TEA, right? And she said it in a derogatory manner.
Bush says the meeting developed into a discussion about creating a Black social club in the school, and that to her, none of it made sense.
And I told him, I was like, I'm going to call the school tomorrow. And he's like, you're going to call the school?
But before she could, Hooper Barnett sent a letter to parents and students Sunday saying the decision to hold the meeting and the discussion that transpired was not appropriate. She says she takes full responsibility and ownership for what occurred. Hooper Barnett's letter to the community said, quote, I want to assure you that it was never my intent to single out or cause harm to any group of students. I understand my actions and decisions have caused disappointment and frustration, and for that, I sincerely apologize.
I was shocked because I know that Principal Barnett is a Black woman. So I was very shocked that she would say something like that.
Danielle Peters has been named interim principal while the school says it reviews details of the incident. In Dallas, Meredith Yeomans, NBC5.
I'm going to take my time with this one because there's so much I want to say. Number one, as Black people and as Black people with platforms and as Black people in positions of leadership and influence, we have a responsibility to dispel stereotypes, not perpetuate them. I'm going to say that one more time. As Black people in positions of influence, power, and leadership, we have a responsibility to dispel stereotypes, not perpetuate them. So what do I mean by that? This story has now garnered national attention. For the white students and the white parents at that school, for white students and white parents around the nation, you have now helped push the narrative that Black students at your school bring your grades down, that people should not want to send their kids to schools that are Black, that white people should definitely be concerned if their school starts to get too Black because the Black students are going to bring down the scores of the school. The Black people are going to bring down the property values. The Black people are going to bring down the quality of life. That's what you just did. Whether you did it on purpose or not, that is what you just did. That's number one. Number two, I've got a question. I'm curious to know, in all honesty, did you look at the spreadsheet? Did you go into Excel? Did you sort by lowest test scores? And in all honesty and in all truthfulness, of all of your lowest test scores, was none of the students white and was none of the students Hispanic? Okay, and it's an honest question. It's very hard for me to believe. It's very hard for me to believe that every single last one of your low test scores were just Black. It's hard for me to believe that. It's hard for me to believe that your entire school doesn't have one poor performing white student, that your entire school doesn't have one poor performing Latino student. That's extremely hard for me to believe. Thirdly, I am friends with a lot of teachers, and at 42, a lot of my teacher friends have now matriculated into principalship. It is wholly your job as an educator to motivate, inspire, and encourage. I do not know a world where it is motivating to any group of students to call all of them in the room and say, y'all are the reason the school is failing. In what world, in what coursework, in what experience have you ever shown that that is positive? Now, I remember when I was in school in Florida and kids were having a hard time passing the HSCT in order to graduate. Yes, they did call all the people who was failing the HSCT into the auditorium, and they were setting them up with after school tutoring and extra classes on the weekend and various things to do in order to get those children to graduate, right? But to pull them in and to say, you are the reason the school failed, they look around the room and everyone is Black. No, God. Here's the other thing. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Honestly and truthfully, I don't feel Black children are safe around you. And I see some of y'all in the comments saying, but our Black, and there are people saying, I'm an educator. Black students are a mess. All they want to do is fight and have sex and all these different things. And I am here to reinforce that is not a negative consequence of being Black. That is a negative consequence of low socioeconomic status and poverty, okay? That is not a consequence of being Black. Students who are Black are not inherently going to fight and want to hunch and want to do drugs and want to skip school. That is something that is more closely aligned with poverty than it is skin color. Let's get that clear. I don't trust you. And I would never want to sit up here and talk somebody out their job. Send that bitch to the county. Send her ass to the county. Let her file papers. Let her work at the district office. Matter of fact, send her ass to a white school. Since white children don't fail, white children are all perfect, white children don't fall behind in their coursework, send her ass to a white school. Let her go there. Don't put her back around no black children because you can't be trusted with them. There is no way in hell that somebody who is a black, and I'm going to take it a step further, I'm sorry, somebody that is a black woman. Women are naturally supposed to be nurturing and mother figures and all this. You are a black woman. They're looking to you for leadership, and you demonize those kids in school and then singled them out and made this become national news. You can't be trusted with my black child. You cannot be trusted with black children. You failed them. You failed them. And so now they got to walk around that school and that community with a scarlet letter. Because listen, let's face it, kids know who was in that assembly and who was not in that assembly. Kids know, bitch, when I was in high school, I know who was called into the HSCT assembly and who wasn't. I wasn't, bitch. Because I passed the FCAT the first time around. Not me, girl. I knew I wasn't in that assembly, but I knew them hoes over there was. And I knew them over there was. And I knew that me and my friends that passed the HSCT the first go around, I know that we was over here at lunch snickering about them hoes that didn't pass. I remember that vividly. I remember the kids that had to take the graduation exam 2 and 3 times before they passed. I remember the kids that barely passed. You singled them kids out. There was a different way to do that. There was a different way. And yes, they were going to be singled out regardless, okay? If you, kids who are failing, they were going to be singled out in some regard. But there was a way that you could have done that could have made it less about skin color. And we're going to form a special club. Let's not even get to the portion about race. Let's not even do that. Let's not even get to the portion about forming a club. Let's just start here. In what world do you call a group of failing students into a room and tell them that they're the reason the school is failing? It's not professional. It's not nurturing. It's not encouraging. It's not motherly. You thought that was smart. What was that going to do? You being upset because I imagine the school lost a grade, okay? I imagine the school lost a grade. In what world do you call it? Like, what is that doing? It's y'all fault the school got a lower grade. Is that finna magically make them have better test scores? There just was a better way to do that. And the ramifications of this have yet to be seen. Moving right along, guys, to our second to last story. Wanda Sykes. So Wanda Sykes sat down in an interview and she says that her Oscar hosting gig was overshadowed by Will Smith's slap. It's like I was watching from home. I'm not even finna get into reading all of this copy. And you want to know what's funny? She is absolutely right, because I don't even remember Wanda Sykes hosting the Oscars. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Chris Rock hosted the Oscars that year. That's what's odd. See, even y'all put in the chat, she hosted. So I guess to her point, she's absolutely right. I thought Chris Rock hosted. To be honest, I have no memory whatsoever of Wanda Sykes and the Oscars. Whenever I think of the Oscars, my brain does not make the correlation Wanda Sykes and the Oscars. And now y'all are putting in the chat, she along with other women. That's right. It was her, Amy Schumer, Regina Hall, according to the article. I'm just jumping around. And it's sad because, to her point, you're absolutely right. We don't remember anything from it. Will and that Oscar slap completely upstaged her moment, and it is unfortunate. In Andrews 1370, I'm so early because I got a movie premiere to go to at 8 o'clock. So I jumped on early because I didn't want to leave y'all shortchanged. And last but not least, so somebody says, Mr. Tyrone 24-112 says she did not host that year. I'm going to read the first paragraph. Wanda Sykes is reflecting on her experience hosting the 2022 Oscars. The same year, Will slapped Chris Rock live on stage. And she says the infamous moment completely overshadowed what should have been a career highlight. So Chris, she absolutely did host that particular year. And last but not least, speaking on somebody who was on stage and got overshadowed or wanted to be on stage, Mercedes from No Limits. Something don't happen, y'all, because Mercedes has decided to apologize about spazzing out on the internet. Take a look and we're going to talk about it.
Together myself, so I got on here today to publicly apologize to me. I absolutely know it was not your fault. Unfortunately, I flashed out because I am human. It was a number of things that happened that day. It was really chaotic leading up to that point. Y'all really don't know. Y'all just saw me spaz out. But I was just simply stating that he doesn't own the song. It's my song. I don't know what y'all know about music, but do your research. I'm not about to do all that because that's really not what I'm here for. Like I said, I'm coming to give a public apology, number one, and assert myself because I've been around, like, since the beginning. Not like since they was in California, but when I got signed is when they were literally about to take off. I was there for the Unbounded soundtrack. I was there for TRU. I wasn't on it, but I was there. Like, I was literally at all of the big tours and stuff that they were doing. I was there. So, yes, I've been with them recently on the road and all of that. So, I don't understand because I'm reading all the comments and I see, well, who is she? Or who she thinks she is? Like, y'all haven't been listening to my music. Like, that's what's tea. This album came out in 1999, okay? I did this in 7 days. So, yes, there was a collective effort all the way around the fucking board because I didn't even know I was about to go and record. But that's another story. Top and bottom line is, I spent money to be here. I was not invited. But I'm everywhere. And tonight was historic. So whether I was going to actually get on the mic or not, I deserved to be up on that stage. I deserved for when he was doing that song to at least say, shout out to Mercedes, because if nobody else knew I was on the side of the stage, he did. That's for another story. At the end of the day, it is my song. I was not allowed to do it, and I have paid my dues. I was the first R&B artist on No Limit. Yes, Nia X is the biggest mama. She been here. But if you ask her, I'm the baby girl. Okay, I ain't with this technology. Y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all know.
All right, and it's getting lengthy. I'm going to be honest with you. Even though some of the details are choppy, I do agree with her. I do agree. At a minimum, she said, okay, I should have been on the stage. She said, okay, even if I was not going to be be able to perform, she was like, you knew I was there. Why not say shout out to Mercedes? She's absolutely right, guys. Get that girl. Somebody said, Rosonia 87 said, give her things. Get that girl her things. Give her her things. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know a single Mercedes songs. I don't remember. But I will say this. I remember that CD cover with that girl with her coochie spread out, bent over that car. I remember that. That took me 99. That took me right back to high school. That took me right back to sophomore year of high school. Yes, I remember that vulgar ass album cover. And if you don't remember anything else, you remember that. And like I said, she said they knew she was there. Listen, and I'm not trying to start nothing, but there were so many extra people on that stage that had no type of prior affiliation, that would make me feel a way too. You in a room full of people that know you were there, whether you were contracted or not, and nobody says, sis, come up here on this stage and stand around in the back and be entourage. I don't think that was too much to ask. If Kelly Price and if Tamar could have been up on the stage, I don't know why nobody found it prudent for that girl to not be on the stage. That girl probably don't been in the studio many a nights with them people. That girl probably don't went and got food many a nights with them people. That girl probably don't share hotel rooms and share tour buses many a night with them people. And nobody thought enough of her to at least say, sis, come up on the stage and drink with us and jam with us and rock out with us. That shit hurts. That hurts. And anybody who can't understand that, you just choosing to be purposely obtuse in this moment. That shit hurts. That girl wasn't asking to be paid. She wasn't asking to have no solo moment. She wasn't asking to do no whole set. She was asking to simply be acknowledged. Like, damn, y'all, I wasn't part of the family. I was around when y'all built this shit from the bottom too. I don't give a damn if I was just the receptionist at the front. I don't give a damn if I was the girl. I don't give a damn if I was just the girl that was putting the labels on the damn CDs. I was there. And I know all of y'all. And all of y'all know me. And this is a reunion. And oh my God, it feels so good to be here. Y'all not going to invite me on the stage. Now, the only thing that I'm confused about, Mercedes, is the fact that, you know, you paid for your own hotel. You paid for your own ticket to get there and all of that stuff, which means prior to the thing, you knew that you were not part of whatever that was going on stage. I would like to think at a minimum that you still have Mac's phone number or contact information, that you still got a few people's information in the camp. It would just seem to me that, you know, you would have kind of worked it out with somebody. Somebody saying Master P may not have known. Listen, them people knew that girl was on the side. If P didn't know she was on the side of the stage, somebody else that was there knew. There's no way in hell that it was all the people on that stage and nobody from the No Limit clique knew that girl was down there. If she was down there close enough to be the Timberland, that means she can be seen by the people that was on stage. They knew that damn girl was there. They knew that damn girl was there. Okay? And even in this moment, the proper thing to do is for Master P to get on social media and apologize. That girl just want to be validated. They say her album never came out. So what? That girl just want to be validated. That's all. She just want to be validated, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. And people say her album never came out. Y'all are not finna tell me that y'all do not remember. I'm finna put it up on the screen. Y'all ain't finna tell me y'all don't remember this record cover. Hold on, I'm finna put it up on the screen. Mercedes album cover. Mercedes album cover images. Hold on. Y'all ain't finna tell me. Bam. Hold on. Let me come here. Let me come right here. Hold on. Let me come where I want to put it at. Ooh, bitch, I can't see. Hold on. I can't see. Y'all trying to play. I don't be liking it when people try to play people small. I don't like that. Hold on. Pause. Put this thing right here. Y'all ain't gonna tell me y'all don't remember this album cover. Now, maybe it never came out because, like she said, she recorded the whole thing in 7. Y'all not gonna tell me if you put no in the chat right now if you don't remember this album cover. Put no. Everybody remembers this because it was so vulgar for the times. Now, I can't tell you what's on it. I can't tell you a damn thing that's on that damn album cover, but everybody remembers this from back in the day. Right, somebody said, oh, damn, I definitely remember it. I definitely remember it. Somebody said, breaking news, monkeys on the loose in Mississippi. They say they are dangerous. And it's a lot of y'all putting no. Y'all must have been 7-Day Adventists or Jehovah people, Jehovah Witnesses, because everybody remembers that Mercedes album cover. Somebody put, oh my, baby, y'all remember that thing. Anyway, y'all, I got to get up off this line and get dressed to put on my red carpet / fighting clothes in case I got to take a picture and smile and be ready to fight in case them hoes try to jump me down to this music premiere. And I'll check in with y'all later. As far as tomorrow, guys, more than likely there will not be a show Wednesday and Thursday because I leave for Dominican Republic tomorrow. You know what? There's a possibility that I can do one tomorrow because I'm getting there a day before the Funky Bunch. So only me and Legra will be in the Dominican Republic tomorrow. So I can do a show tomorrow. It's going to be from my laptop up against a wall. It's not going to look as nice as this. We just going to have to make it enough. But there definitely won't be one Thursday because we're going to be shaking our ass with the Funky Bunch. And that's when we're going to start doing prostitution down in the Dominican Republic. I'm getting down there a day early so we can set up the classroom and so I could pay Spanish fish under the table. I didn't want to Zelle no money to them in case the IRS or the government get involved. I could be like, baby, I don't know what y'all talking about. I got to pay her in cash. Nevertheless, y'all have fun and I'll call y'all hoes later. Bye.